Hi guys and welcome back to the South Korean ladder, as I've once again found a very interesting game here in September. I believe on September 15th this game has been played, as we do have spawning in the lower left in the purple it is JAEDONG with his AK here, and in the upper right in the blue it is DEWALT from Russia. So very interesting international gameplay here on the South Korean ladder. DEWALT actually doing very well on the South Korean ladder. I believe he's in the top 10, and JAEDONG of course known to be one of the best Zergs, if not the best Zergs in the history of Starcraft. So we do have a very interesting game here. Yeah, sorry I said perhaps interesting too many times, as we do have them spawning on a 4 spawning location map. We do have the production tab in the upper left part. The build orders are going to be checked out very soon, as we see DEWALT with a pylon very close towards his expansion. So he might go Nexus first, it could be a possibility. JAEDONG was already scouting the map. And after the pylon, actually DEWALT moving out to see exactly what the build order from the opponent is. This is very likely to know if he could be safe to go for a fast expansion or not. So yeah, more drones are getting produced. We do have the overlord here for JAEDONG. Looks like he's going straight towards a expansion afterwards. So pretty standard stuff here for JD. Very high APM for both players, as the probe already into the middle of the map, going towards the lower left part. So yeah, let's just see what DEWALT is going to be doing. He's even sending out a second probe, so very safe gameplay here for him, not investing into anything. I believe it is indeed going to be a Nexus first build order. Could this be a fake cannon rush attempt? It could also be a fake, actually it's not a fake, there it is, we do have a fort, so it is indeed a cannon rush versus JD. So let's see how JD is going to react. Some drones are getting pulled. At first I thought it's going to be a safe gameplay here for DEWALT towards fast expansion, but it is indeed a cannon rush. How many drones did he pull? Let's have a look. 4 drones here for JAEDONG. Second probe is coming here forward for DEWALT. More cannons are getting spawned, and JAEDONG could of course just cancel this expansion and go for a different position, as so much has been invested here for DEWALT. DEWALT also cancelling this pylon right here to block the entrance. The second probe is also out here, and it looks like indeed that just a couple of drones will be enough here for JD to hold. However, one cannon is about to get finished very soon. The probe is glitching forward, taking some damage. JAEDONG still not cancelling this expansion. Quite interesting. I believe he needs now some Zerglings to move here forward and attack. This cannon actually very well protected, so the cannons in the back really well protected. We do have a sunken here for JD, but it is getting immediately attacked by DEWALT's cannon. So an interesting investment here by DEWALT. Of course JD could also ignore this and go straight towards the main here from the Protoss. Could be a possibility, but there we have a cannon for him. Actually JAEDONG deciding to attack here forward. A bold move by him. There is the sunken, sadly for JAEDONG, this has been taken out. So like I told you, the Zerglings could do a run by forward. There is a cannon here, he could just outpass this and go straight towards the economy from the opponent. Now even the pylon is interesting enough getting attacked by DEWALT right here. He could have also cancelled this expansion right here and went for a different one. Let's have a look into his main. There's his gas. So a very aggressive move out here early on by DEWALT. And yeah, the expansion right here could be killed. Let's have a look. Remember, 2 cannons can one shot a Zerglings. JAEDONG could of course pull some drones forward. This hatchery is taking more and more damage. Finally, he has to attack here. He has to sacrifice some of those Zerglings. One cannon is very likely going to be snapped. Pretty good micro here by JD, as only 1 cannon is being left. So with that, JAEDONG is holding on here. He did sacrifice a lot of units. Some drones have also been killed. He's at 11 drones. In the end, he is able to hold. 2 sunkens have also been invested by him. So yeah, with that finally the aggression has stopped. Perhaps JAEDONG is going to check the replay and see that it was only 1 cannon here. Now the overlord finally sees it. So he could have easily just sacrificed, in my opinion, but then again I'm not a pro gamer. He could have just sacrificed the hatchery, went forward with those 8 links, 9 links, perhaps 2 would have been killed. But with that just causing major economic damage towards the opponent. However, he did not know the exact position. He just knew that there was no Protoss here, so he didn't scout the whole map. It could have also been a mistake, but then again, like I told you, I'm not a pro gamer. Of course he knows much better than me. He is of course the best Zerg, so yeah, who am I to tell him what to do into this game. So we go back towards a more normal gameplay now. One cannon is up, the Zealot is here forward. The way is not really shot. Let's check the main. There's a cybernetic score. He might go for a starport very soon. And yeah, tier 2 has also started here for JAEDONG. Interesting enough towards the hurt hatchery for him. Perhaps it will heal, of course, in time. Or is it going to be at more HP? Interesting enough. So no HP is getting restored here for JD. Perhaps the layer is going to heal much faster. Who knows, maybe JAEDONG knows this, as there's the finished tier 2 very soon. And indeed we do have more HP here for him, so quite a smart move here by JAEDONG. I had no idea this is going to happen. He went from 300 HP all of a sudden to 700 HP. Very smart move indeed here by JAEDONG. His layer is still bleeding, but now slowly but steadily restoring HP, and of course he has a sunken here to protect it. And yeah, he has also another expansion right here, so quite a smart move here by JAEDONG. And a lesson if you're a Zerg player, I had no idea that this is going to happen. Layer with yellow HP from red all of a sudden, and we even have a Spire for him, so no Hydralisk bust yet. He's going Spire towards Mutalisk, perhaps some Scourge versus the Corsair. There should be a starport here for DEWALT. There it is. As the game continues now, interesting enough, another cannon for DEWALT, playing very safe. 3 Zealots also out, no movement speed for him, but of course one sunken with a couple of Zerglings will be able to take care of that. He's even creating a nice spot here to make it more difficult for the Zealots to move here forward. So nice SimCity build order here for JAEDONG. Perhaps he's going to add a Hydralisk Den or Evolution Chamber right here, pretty much blocking the entrance from the Zealots. And yeah, with that of course DEWALT decides to pull back. Speed has been done for those Zerglings. And slowly but steadily we turn towards the 10-minute mark. So quite an aggressive early start here for DEWALT, for the Russian player versus the Korean player. And yeah, the game goes into a more normal mode. We have another gateway here for JD. Zerglings are getting a good patrol here onto the map, having nice vision. We even have a Templar Archive. We will very likely see some High Templars, and there's a good connection here for JD, so nicely sniping the Corsair. I believe he of course saw it with the Zerglings. Is he going to attempt a move forward here? No, just showing his presence as upgrades are starting here for the Protoss. 1 weapons air speed for the Zealots. There's the weapons 1, as more and more hatcheries are getting built here actually for JAEDONG. So this could be a timing push for him. He could just try to transition into mass Hydralisk. Let's have a look if he has a Hydralisk Den. No Hydralisk Den yet for him. I believe he's not going to stay into Scourge with Mutalisk. It should of course be a mass Hydralisk build order, as he's nicely scouting here the entrance from DEWALT. And there's the counter towards all of the Zerg units, the High Templar with Storms. Is he going indeed? There's an Evolution Chamber, so no Hydralisk Den yet here for JD. At least I don't see one. Perhaps he did hit it somewhere, but no, just pretty much normal stuff. We even have the Dark Templar here, but there is an Overlord nicely hidden in the back. However, not that much anti-air here for JD. Only the Scourge are the anti-air, so he has to be careful not to get snapped by those Corsairs in the air. We do even have some Mutalisk here forward, but of course with the cannon, with the Corsairs, he should be safe here. And the question is of course when or if he's going to transition into Hydralisk. There it is, there's the Hydralisk Den. And with all of those hatcheries, we might see a timing push very soon at around the 12-minute mark. We even have a dancing Zergling right here, having fun towards the expansion point here from JD. Let's have a look if those Scourges will get some connection, as the Zergling is still dancing around here. So here come the Mutalisk. There are the Corsairs, 2 High Templars of course. He might try to snap those High Templars. They are just nicely done here by JAEDONG. He did hit the Scourge into the group of Mutalisk. DEWALT not even reacting, not even having time to react, feeling safe, putting those Corsairs on hold position, and in the end the Scourge took care of that. So now DEWALT just has to be careful not to lose those High Templars, as more and more map control is getting gained here by JD, and he might even try to do another expansion, either that or he's just going to mass go for Hydralisk and even adding some Mutalisk here. Interesting enough for JD, having quite a large amount of Mutalisk. I believe those Mutalisk will be very likely used to snipe the High Templars. He has to be careful, there is energy. First he's going for the cannon, the bouncing glaives are of course also attacking the probes. And yeah, here we go, and again sniping the cannon. DEWALT not even reacting here, a good reaction now, finally just waiting of course for the perfect storm to be casted, but there's still 5 Mutalisk here for JD as more Mutalisk are getting produced and also more Hydralisk, 8 Hydralisk are on their way. Very smart move here by JD, forcing actually energy out of those High Templars, and I believe in the end he's going to very likely transition into mass Hydralisk to put an end towards the expansion point here from DEWALT. So DEWALT of course in a quite tricky situation, of course has no idea if it's going to be mass Mutalisk or a transition towards Hydralisk, sorry. Even bypassing the expansion point he might go towards the main, but there are so many cannons here. Finally a good storm has been casted, but more probes are getting sniped here. JAEDONG, very good micro force, he's known for his best micro towards those Mutalisk, very nicely done by him. The Archon here sadly for DEWALT not getting any connections. The High Templars have also been sniped. 2 of them of course went towards being an Archon here, and now finally he has to transition into some Dragoons as JAEDONG just adding some upgrades towards those Hydralisk. Even the Archon has been sniped, so JAEDONG with a great move here, finally a great connection here with the High Templar Storm. However, the Mutalisk are still being left alive as DEWALT is taking more and more economic damage here, so sorry, quite a nice harassment here by JD. As of course in towards his main, he's going for more Hydralisk, more Mutalisk. Let's have a look into his main. There it is, lots and lots of Hydralisk. I believe 1-1 is going to be finished very soon for him, as we also have weapons 2 on the way for DEWALT. Sadly here for DEWALT not really being able to make his game, being forced by JD to go into a more defensive mode here, as JD is moving out with his first group of Hydralisk. And like I told you, he is of course going to very likely take another expansion here, perhaps even a second one, as the swarm is moving out, checking the expansion point, knowing now of course that he has the economic advantage. There's only 2 base Protoss versus a soon to be 4 base Zerg. So yeah, let's see how DEWALT is going to come back. He still has a great army, a nice mix of units here. The upgrades are also very good for him, 2-to-1 upgrades, as JD, like I told you, should be at 1-1 very soon, or 0-2, as he's now even going towards the lurkers. But yeah, that harassment early on by JD, punishing a little bit the cannon rush from the opponent, as he's once again going for the gas probes, sniping 2 of them. Even the third one will be sniped, so the Mutalisk doing a great job early on, as DEWALT wants to take now his other expansion. However, now the group of Hydralisk has been pretty much surrounded. Good snipe by the High Templar. Zerrral should be able to take care of those Hydralisk onto the ground. Mutalisk are still in the air, but lots and lots of Dragoons with upgrades of course will be able to fend this off, as the Protoss has to take this expansion. And perhaps with that, JAEDONG is going to very likely push with all of his forces forward. Sadly for him, a bad rallyway here. Either that or he wants to attack with the drones in the front, so quite a mistake here by JD. Many drones here into the exit point. Of course we all make mistakes. He was very likely busy microing those Mutalisk, but a lot of economy has been lost. However, a good move here by him, snapping the important damage dealers from the opponent. The High Templars have been snapped, and now finally all of the drones will be transferred towards the newly established point by him. Same can be said here for DEWALT. He's also going to transition those units very soon. Sadly for him, he's behind into workers against the Zerg, as we do have 11 lurkers on their way for JD, as the Mutalisk of course have done their job, snapping those High Templars and also snapping the probes. Very good early harassment here by JD, but it's still quite a scary army here for DEWALT with upgrades, quite strong mix of units like I told you. Not that many High Templars however here for him, as the Mutalisk still back and behind enemy lines, being able to snipe so many probes once again. 2 have been sniped again. He might even be lucky to snipe the High Templar here. So that harassment here from JD proving to make a big difference here. He has 10 mutilies now, and he might even snipe the cannon right here. So sadly here for DEWALT, of course, his Protoss units aren't that mobile as the mutilies are in the air, and once again the probes will be sacrificed here for him. So it looks like DEWALT has pretty much abandoned here the main. He's going for a base trade scenario. The probes are being sacrificed or being killed here. JAEDONG will be alive. He have to come back with his mutilies to defend it. There's the attack. All of the lurkers pretty much exposed. He needs a observer very soon. There it is, and with that a very good position all of a sudden here for DEWALT, as he's taking some good surrounds versus all of those lurkers. Of course he's going to take some splash damage. Now finding a good high tempo storm. Of course DEWALT had to react here. He had to move forward. Those mutilies were quite annoying towards his main, but now in come the mutilies from the back, and there's the GG, of course. So DEWALT with a very aggressive early move out by him. At the beginning I was thinking that he was going for a Nexus first build order, but in the end he tried to cannon rush JD. JD, interesting enough, not cancelling the expansion, not going for a counter attack with those Zerglings. He really wanted to keep his expansion safe there, and yeah, with that his mutilisk harassment showing, of course, how strong he can be. Yeah, JAEDONG, of course, known to be one of the best mutilisk micro players in the world, and yeah, punishing here the early aggression, the early abusement by the Russian player. And sniping those high templars, very important stuff for him, even more important than sniping the probes if you ask me. Those high templars, of course, known to just pretty much obliterate masses of units from the Zerg. So yeah, the mutilisk here for JAEDONG doing their job. Nice gameplay by him. Let's check the stats very quickly from this nice international gameplay here by the both players who have met on the South Korean ladder. JD taking this game in the end quite convincingly, his harassment proving to be much stronger, and those mutilisk in the air very fast, being microed, very hard game all of a sudden from DEWALT, who was forced to defend at home, who was forced to stay at home. In the end, of course, he did lose his patience. He has to make a move. He had to snipe the newly established base, because in the end he would have been overrun by the units from JD, so he had to try his luck. But yeah, the mutilisk came back, and he even had more Hydralisk. The lurkers at one point were pretty much nicely surrounded by the zealots, but in the end JAEDONG just having way too much here versus the opponent. Let's check the resources. More resources, of course, getting mined. However, mineral wise, pretty much the same amount of minerals. Gas wise, more here for JD. Units have been nicely produced by both players. Not that many produced here by DEWALT, and not that many killed here by JD, interesting enough. So yeah, quite a balanced game, but in the end JAEDONG just punishing the early aggressive move by DEWALT, and in the end taking the game quite convincingly, as DEWALT, of course, had to make his move. He had to react, and DEWALT just nicely countering everything. And let's not forget that mutilisk micro by him. Pretty much outstanding gameplay here by JD, proving to be, of course, a little bit too strong here for the Russian player. So this time South Korea 1-0 versus Russia. A very interesting game, like I told you, in September. I believe it was the September 15th 2025, so quite a recent game here onto this channel. Sadly still with low graphics. I hope in 1 month the main PC, the working PC, will have some good internet to have remastered resolution for you guys. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. It's Tommy signing out.